Newly appointed National Sevens team head coach Benjamin Ayimba has exuded confidence that Kenya's qualification for the 2016 Olympics is almost a done deal. Ayimba is making a return to the helm of the Sevens technical bench 3 years after he parted ways with Shujaa. Assisted by Paul Murunga, Ayimba's priority remains the Olympics as well as getting Kenya among the top 10 countries in the world.
Yeah, quite an interesting week it has been in the rugby scenes. Of course, just a few days after the completion of the National Sevens circuit, where guys get to focus on the upcoming Safaricom Sevens, Benjamin Ayimba makes a comeback to the Kenya National Sevens team, of course, after a 3-year absence. Benja, very good to have you here, and it's been 3 years since your exit. And I think my first question will be, did you ever see yourself making a comeback to the National Sevens team?
Like I'd always said before, once the management at the top changed, and I was very clear about that, I would be ready to help the national team come back to its lost glory, and at whatever capacity. So when Richard and his team came in, that was an opportunity that I would do, and it happened that they advertised the job, and for the first time I actually applied for it. And lucky for me, I was given the chance to do the job.
And just so you know, after Benja parted ways with the Kenya National Sevens team, he has, of course, remained in the rugby world. We could say he had a short stint with Mean Machine, where he coached them before getting involved in organizing a few Sevens tournaments across the country. And I think one of the tournaments that you have been very well known for is the Masaku Sevens tournament. Just tell us, how has your life been out of the National Sevens circuit in matters rugby?
It's of course very difficult to adjust. If the game of rugby has been part of my life before I left, it was about 18 years, and it is very difficult to adjust to see what it is that you can fill in and use your time for. Machine needed someone then. They didn't have a coach and they're really struggling, and I was asked to help them out, so I did. I couldn't go on with that because of lack of organization between the team and the university administration. So it was time to look for new things, and Machakos came along alongside my friend Richard Nyakwaka Quicks. He thought, why don't you venture out in trying to nurture this young talent that is not within the rugby scene, so to speak. So the best way to do that was to start tournaments and allow younger teams to come in and play. Machakos, as it was, just grew a life of its own, and it's become a whole different animal for everyone else. Lucky for us, now it's become an international tournament that has got prize money, which is the best that Kenya has ever seen, and that is improving its profile. Of course, there was Meru as well, there was Kitui, and most recently there was Obama Sevens. So that sort of thing has helped me reinvent myself in terms of what I want to give back to this nation.
And of course, you took over the Kenya Sevens team in 2006 up to of course to 2011.
Yes.
And you know, I mean, that's a long time being in a team that you do not only coach, but you were you played in it, so you're part of it. How was it like now watching from the outside? You know, you're not a player and you're not a coach.
It was very, very heartbreaking. I saw many things being broken down, and you remember I told you from the onslaught that whatever direction we take, it was wrong. And it happened that many people did not seek my advice. Many people did not even think that what I was saying was right. And we went along and made mistakes. We've dug ourselves in a very deep hole. Right now, we would have been in a different level. But again, things like that happen. People learn from mistakes, and we're here to sort that mess, so to speak, up.
What really happened? I mean, how did your exit happen? I mean,
my exit was purely political. There was nothing that made any logic. I took the team when we were at number 12. I brought it up to number 6, and we even qualified for the World Cup semis.
Yeah, you got to the semi-finals. You got to the final of the Adelaide.
For anyone who was looking at my performance, that was good enough. That should have been good enough. But for anyone who's looking for excuses, he would say we've dropped from number 6 to number 9. And for me, it was not only foolhardy, it was almost foolish, a decision like that being made. But again, I realized that it was political, and there's not really much I can do for politics. I'm not a politician. So when I was kicked out, I thought, fine, let's see. They probably have something better to offer, and like we've seen, there's been really nothing to offer. So we're here to sort it out, and hopefully with the squad that we've picked, and I've got a very, very able
And Benja,
bench.
speaking of sorting out this team, I mean, you picked the team when it was 12, brought it to the 6th place. You're then coming back when the team has when the team has dipped again to the 13th position. But times have changed, of
I live
course.
for a challenge. I live for a challenge.
I mean, like, are you ready for this
and
challenge?
You see, times change, but the game really doesn't. It is a fallacy that the game has changed. It hasn't changed. You still have to pass the ball behind. You still have to cross the line to score. So for me, once you devise a way of doing that, then you have the game's grasp. Nothing has changed. You don't have to fly. You don't have to kick the ball to score anymore, except for the posts. So really, the fundamentals of the games haven't changed. And for whoever thinks that a coach will have difficulty because the game has transformed, it hasn't transformed. It hasn't become volleyball. So.
And Benja, the last 2 years have been very trying for Kenyan fans, so to speak.
Yes.
You know, Kenyan fans are the most special in the world. I think they
yes.
will come in droves. They will support the team, but when the team is also not doing so well, people are bound to be disappointed.
I played when nobody knew about Kenya Rugby, and pre 2008 nobody really cared about the rugby scene. 2009 when guys performed well, then we started having fans who had become so expert in the game. They started telling people who's not doing what. So I'm very aware of the Kenyan fan. We love them, and we think without them then wouldn't have made the strides that we made. However, we've got the tools, so to speak, to make it happen from 13th all the way back to top 10, and then we see how well we can penetrate the top 5.
So are you ready for the challenge? How did you get the team from 12th place to 6th place? And what are you going to do now to get the team from the 13th place to I don't know what?
You know, the only thing the Kenyan player doesn't have is confidence in himself. And that is what
Where did that confidence go to?
It never the way we were brought up, I think we are brought up to think that confidence is arrogance. Yeah, so many people tell you, when you say, I'm going to achieve this, they tell you, hey, and you're arrogant. Instead of thinking, wow, that is ambitious, how are you planning to do that? As opposed to us telling you that, they say, oh, you're arrogant. So it is just to tell the players, guys, it is important to be very, very clear about what you want to achieve, and being confident is definitely the way to go. Because playing-wise, I don't think, in this world, we're churning out so much talent in Kenya. I don't think anybody, once those confidence levels go up there, I don't think anybody will beat us. Look at what Friday did. What Friday did was he made everyone in the team confident. There was nothing much that was done.
Looking at your comeback, of course, you come back at a time when we're looking forward, or Kenya is looking forward to qualifying for the Rio 2016 Olympics. In short, your work is well cut out. It is well cut out. And Lynn, to be very honest, I think for me, Olympics was the epitome, whether I was in the background of the team or at the forefront. And that, of course, was cut short. The plans that I had were cut short because me being thrown out. But that's having happened. Olympics is any sportsman's dream. Whether you played, whether you coached, for me, going to the Olympics is so important. I don't think from now on I'm going to live, breathe, and do anything else except wanting to qualify for the Olympics and being in the medal bracket. Yes. Then what does that mean for you? I remember one day you told me, when you're a coach, a national sevens coach, you sacrifice your time, you sacrifice your family, you technically sacrifice everything that you have. Is this something that you think is worth
At least I've taken leave from this for 3 years, and I've spent quality time with the family. The kids are now well aware of what goes on. I've spent lots of time. It's time sacrifice for the next 40 plus million guys, and I'm sure when their father does that, they're happy. They're happy that their father has done something special. I think it's something they want to live with. And the other challenge as well is my son is now playing, and I won't live with it if I can't make this. And I don't know that he's reached his years that I'm head coach again, but I know I get a lot of stick from him. So for me, it comes from within. Like I was telling you earlier on, when my sister called me this morning, she drew me to tears because I didn't realize how much my family feels obliged by me, feels burdened by me not being in the team and having built something. And they felt the strain that never used to be there. And they felt the strain of me growing the team, and when I was kicked out, it actually affected them so much.
So in short, family is one of those things that will be pushing you as you take up this challenge. Yeah,
both my nucleus one and my siblings and parents. So it's going to be a very welcome challenge, and I assure you, I'm so confident. I've got a very, very good team behind me. I've got a wonderful management team. I've got a wonderful support system from Felix Ocheng, who have been with ever since 1996. I've got wonderful players to pick from. So I think this is a challenge I really want to take, and I'm smiling as it is. I can't even sleep, actually. I didn't sleep much last night, just thinking of how we're going to make this happen. And when it does, we'll probably be all smiling.
And Benja, speaking of wonderful players,
Yes.
I mean, even as of now, 3 years down the line,
Yes.
most of the players in the National Sevens team come from the pool
Yes,
that you had.
that I built, yes.
I mean, like,
That is what tells you something about continuity. It's when you do a job well, then we're able to do that. I'm here for a short while, alongside Pau, and there'll be other older players like Humphrey, and of course the whole lot of guys who developed those younger players. So I want that by the time I'm exiting, whoever it is that takes over keeps working on our greater picture. Like as we speak, there's Pau has picked a side that is not more than 16 years. At that side,
a development
side. So we're expecting that in 4 years, these guys will be able to get into the Kenya team without having really necessarily to be thrashed in there. But they would have worked between 16 and 20 years. They would have done enough work to make them just get into the team.
If you had stayed in the team,
Yes.
what are some of the things that you probably would have done differently?
I'll probably not be head coach now. The way I'd planned it is that by now would have probably had Humphrey as coach. Felix and I would have probably been in the background. Now Pau would have been probably joining us to now get to stabilize that as me and Felix exit maybe in the next year. So what I would have done this differently is change the way we played. We're getting into contact too much. We're not seeing flair. There's less passes. There's less interesting play, and that's what makes Kenyans. People are not happy playing for Kenya anymore. We don't see them smile. We don't see them dance. Even
Yeah,
when
and I think when you used to be in the team, there was
Yes.
actually no contract for any player. You know,
Yes.
players were not on contract, but
Yes.
players were performing.
Yes.
But we have seen times when players have been on contracts, but they're still not
You see,
performing.
a contract,
So
performance
just-
goes beyond a contract. Performance goes beyond being given money or facilities, so to speak. Performance goes beyond what is physical. Performance is almost spiritual. It's how you connect to the players as the management. It is what they feel obliged to do for you. In return, how do you treat them? I like to give a good example of Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola. Players always play for them, whichever club they go to. What do you think? What do you think is the secret? The secret is that they're so well connected to the players. They actually know when the players need a break. Yeah, and the team would be playing a very important match, and the best player is not playing because he's taking a break, because he's much more important in the long run than he is in the short term. So that's the relationship I want to build with those that I've never worked with, and I think there are a good bunch of kids who really want to show they want to give themselves to the better performance of this country. So I'm looking to bring back that human relation, as opposed to this is a paper, you have to do this, you have to do that. Because at the end of the day, it's only a body that can only be inspired by what is in your soul. And I want to speak to that soul. I forget this body thing. I want to get into the guys' hearts and tell them we have to do this for the country.
And should Kenyans expect new faces, say maybe in the next year?
The new faces are already there. The new boys who have been picked, we expect changes up and down, of course, depending on whether they're fit enough. Some are injured, some are not. Some didn't play the circuit, so they might get fit in the long run. We have 12 tournaments between the qualifiers and the end of the season next year. It is no mean feat. So we expect to have those changes up and down, but it won't be drastic. It's a lot of continuity from where Felix has left. And of course, when we come in, we are enhancing what he's left as opposed to trying to discard what he's done, because he's done quite a bit of work. Yes.
And back to 2016 Olympic qualifiers. I mean, this is important.
Yes.
Like very, very, very important.
Yes.
What are Kenya's chances to qualify for Rio?
The chances are 100% to qualify for Rio. That should not be. It should not be something we're discussing about whether will or not. It is our first mandate, and we're definitely qualifying for the Olympics.
Safaricom Sevens, your immediate. I mean, Safari 7, your immediate assignment.
Because it has come so close after the selection of the new team, we're definitely going to use it as training. It's not anything I put emphasis on, because it is never an indicator of how the team performs out there. So for us, it is using that to see what combinations we can put together. Of course, we have new players that we've never worked with directly, myself and Pao. So we're looking to work with those that we haven't done and see how well we can incorporate them in the team. It will help us in the long run to get the best selection for the qualifiers.
And of course, in the past, present, I mean, all over Kenya, it's a thing where we believe so much in foreign coaches, and when they come, we give them all the support. We pay them so much money.
Yes.
We have seen that happen right here.
Yes.
Honestly, are you happy with what they're paying you now?
I haven't discussed my contract with or how much I'm going to be paid later. But for me, the reason why I tell you that is not important right now is the team has got to qualify. Whether I'm paid a billion,
I mean, it's important.
Whether I'm paid a billion or 50 bob now, the team has to qualify. So we're going out to qualify now.
So are you saying that the reason as to why you came back is because we really need to qualify for the Rio 2016 Olympics?
I'll give you an analogy of how that happens. My growth of the team was from the World Cup women to qualify for the Olympics, go to the Olympics. It's like giving birth to a child. You nurture it halfway through, you're not able to be with the child, and you haven't seen the growth to the level where it ought to be, but you know the potential of that child. So mine is that hiatus that I took. It's coming back, injecting a bit more energy, because then I can go to the rugby union and tell them, guys, we're able to do this. So now let's discuss better pay. Let's discuss better terms. And to be honest with you, a rugby coach now is not a full-time. It's not a full-time job. Why am I demanding so much? And I know the rugby union needs that money to sort out the kids. It would be selfish of me to start saying, I want to be paid
1 million.
like, yes, I want 1 million. It would be selfish for me to do that. We've got the group of the kids I'm telling you about. We need to nurture them for the next 4 years. Where do they get the money? So it's good enough. Is it good enough for me to take the money and then they don't grow? I'm only an individual. So for me, it's about sorting out the mess that we're in now. Not really a mess. Sorting out the challenge we're in now, and then from there on, I can say, guys, I think I've done my bit. So how can we improve my life? Yeah. And
probably, yeah, as we wind up, if you're to describe your feeling right now as you come back, what would it be? You know, excited, anxious?
It's a whole array. Like up to this morning, I didn't realize. Like when I told you, my sister called me early in the morning, and I didn't realize how much. It never hit me. You know, for me, I've been a coach. There's not much pressure. It's something I can do. Then she calls me, and the way she speaks, I'm thinking, wow, is it this big? If she can see it like this, why am I not seeing the right thing? What am I expected to do? So for me, it's a bit of anxiety, excitement, expectation. I'm very expectant of what the team can give, and it's a huge challenge for me. I've had a rest. I have ideas. I have new ideas. I want to make these kids great. I want to step out and say, Benjamin Ayimba did this new. I want to win tournaments. I want to go to the Olympics and get a medal around my neck. I want to be a first again in doing something. So that is a good enough drive.
Okay.
Yes.
I think we end it there. All the best.
Thank you very much.
The Olympic qualifiers, more so.
Yeah.
That was Benjamin Ayimba speaking to us about his new appointment as the new Kenya National Sevens team coach. Do remember that he led the National Sevens team to the semi-finals of the World Cup, and he says that Olympic qualification can be done.